Hello and welcome back to yet another episode of Live with Heritage Center. For those of you who are tuning in, I see we've got about 18 of you here already. Thank you for tuning in. We're very excited. We've got a great group with us tonight. We're going to get kicked off right away because these guys are ready to play for you. So right away, I will introduce John and Kennedy's Kitchen, an Irish band that is currently coming to you live from South Bend, Indianapolis.
All right. Hey there, hey everybody. Are you guys ready?
All right, here we go, guys.
I like to rise when the sun she rises early in the morning. I like to hear them small birds singing merrily upon the land, and hurrah for the life of a country boy, and to ramble in the new mown hay. In the spring we sow and the harvest mow. That's how the seasons round they go. But of all the times to choose I may, we'll go rambling in the new mown hay. For I like to rise when the sun she rises early in the morning. I like to hear them small birds singing merrily upon the land, and hurrah for the life of a country boy, and to ramble in the new mown hay. In the winter when the skies are grey, we'll hedge and we'll stitch our times away. But in summer when the sun shines gay, we'll go rambling in the new mown hay. For I like to rise when the sun she rises early in the morning. I like to hear them small birds singing merrily upon the land, and hurrah for the life of a country boy, and to ramble in the new mown hay. For I like to rise when the sun she rises early in the morning. I like to hear them small birds singing merrily upon the land, and hurrah for the life of a country boy, and to ramble in the new mown hay. All right. It's one of our very, very favorite songs for all these years.
You guys are lucky you've got a few people around to give you some applause.
We do. We're actually outside of Fiddler's Hearth, and I never thought that playing music on the pavement. This is the best pub in the lower 48. Now, I can't prove that, but it's my opinion, and I will defend it.
Well, it wouldn't be fitting to have Irish music without it being at the Irish pub, correct?
There's a woman here from County Kerry who's on vacation, and because she can't go back to Ireland, she came to South Bend just so that she could be at Fiddler's Hearth every day, because it was as close as she could get to Ireland. And Sullivan,
right?
Kerry. There she is, right there. That's right.
Well, we've got much more wonderful music to share with those of you who are tuned in, but we've also got some very special guests with us here, as well as Kennedy's Kitchen. We actually have Liam Ledusky, who used to be our graduate assistant. I may or may not have taken his job. And this is actually his family. So he typically plays with them, but he's with us today as well here, along with Tom Robbins, our executive director. So I'm going to add them in now, and we'll hear a little bit from them. Hi, guys.
Hello. Thank you. And welcome, Liam.
Look at you.
I wanted to mention that this is actually our fourth installment of Live Stream with Heritage. We started back in June with Liam's assistance, I might say. Thank you for that, Liam. We're glad to have you back. But Liam was the inspiration for tonight, and I can't believe in all of my years of doing programming, it's never been brought to my attention that September 17th is halfway to St. Patrick's Day. It's never occurred to me. No one else has ever mentioned it to me. And so when Liam said, hey, this might be a good idea for your September edition, I thought it was great. So so we're really excited to have Kennedy's Kitchen featured here today. I wanted to mention that I've had the privilege of presenting Kennedy's Kitchen twice in my past. I presented them at a previous organization I worked for in Wisconsin. And then we just had Kennedy's Kitchen back in spring of 2018. We featured them on a double bill with another group called Scythian. And the interesting thing about that is that we had two brothers up on stage with Liam in Kennedy's Kitchen, and his brother, his name's escaping me at the moment. Your brother's name, Liam?
Nolan.
Nolan was with Scythian. So we had a great night with the family there. And so this is kind of bringing us back, remembering great times we've had in the past. So Liam, thanks for inspiring us to do this here tonight. And John, he's been a joy to work with over the years. We're so glad and so pleased to have you. I guess I'll start out with one quick question to lead into our interview, and you can give us another piece of music after that, John. But
Okay.
What inspired Kennedy's Kitchen to come into existence? Was there another band that existed prior to Kennedy's Kitchen, or how did that all come into play?
How much time do you have?
Right. In a nutshell. In a nutshell.
That story would fill up the hour. It really would. I did not intend to start a band. I wasn't looking for it. The short story is that I was teaching Irish music. Liam is one of my former students, and like many people, they say if you can't do it well yourself, you teach it. And my students, Liam, Nolan, Teresa, and Jacob Turner, Nancy's here, the mother, all former students of mine. And what happened basically was we're playing, and you have a session so that your students have a reason to get together and play. And the next thing you know, it's, well, I guess kind of we're a band, let's just go play somewhere. And then Fiddler's Hearth opened up here in South Bend. And that was a change of life. So I think really what happened was, it just happened. It just happened. Wasn't really expecting it, and to be able to share music with family is extraordinary. And then to have your students open the door for you and make you a better musician is just a gift that I wasn't expecting.
How long has Kennedy's Kitchen been an entity?
I think you'd have to ask Liam. He's the accountant.
How many years, Liam?
I believe we're at 23 years.
Really?
Yeah,
So
I would have gotten it wrong.
23.
So it started when you were like 1.
1 year old. Yep.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, before you play a tune, I wanted to mention one other thing, because tonight is kind of a lesson in what's going on in the world. Because a member of the band is out because she's been exposed to COVID, right? And then Liam was supposed to be playing with the band tonight, but he and his wife woke up with some of the symptoms this morning. And so just to keep everybody safe, Liam is still here in Dubuque. And even though the band's there in South Bend, but this is what happens. So we're kind of we're working with what we've got, and it's sounding great. So I'm looking forward to the next tune.
All right. Well, I mean, for us, it's like we haven't, like all musicians, we haven't really been out gigging, and since we really miss St. Patrick's Day. Things got shut down here basically like 3 days before the day before St. Patrick's Day. So there we are, all ready to go. So we're singing a few St. Patrick's Day party tunes. And this is Whiskey in the Jar. As I was going over the Kilmanaggy Mountains, met with Colonel Farrell. Money he was counting. I first produced my pistols and produced my rapier, saying, stand and deliver file, our bold deceiver, Marshal Bing, never do the rock. Whack ball, daddy ho, whack ball, daddy ho, there's whiskey in the jar. Why, the gold and the silver on the ground, it looks so jolly to gather it all up. Brought it home to mommy, she on a snatchy fowl. Never would deceive me, the devil make the women fall, and never will be easy, Marshal. La la la. Daddy-ho, there's whiskey in the jar. I went into a chamber for all to take a slumber. Grabbed the gold and silver, and for sure it was no wonder. Molly took the business, filled up with water, sent the girl a foul, and ready for the slaughter. Mushroom, never-do-la-la-la. Oh, the daddy-ho, oh, the daddy-ho, there's whiskey in the jar. Chris O'Brien. And when I'll walk in the hour 6 or 7, Michael screwed around me and none was all uneven. I first produced my pistols for she'd thrown away me rapier. But now she's no hard small, but there's a high was thinking about shooting la. Back oh the daddy-ho, there's whiskey in the jar. I threw me in the jail with all it's about me for robbing Colonel Farrell in the Ledusky Mountains, but they could not take back this mine. Back down the century, bid farewell. Colonel Roll, the gentry, marshal, wing, never-do-la-la. Back oh the daddy-ho, there's whiskey in the jar. Now I find my brother is listed in the army. I know that he would aid me in conquering Killarney. We'd head out for Kilkenny. None would dare follow. I'd be safer with him pen. My faith is marquee. We'll never do la. I call the daddy-o. I call the daddy-ho. There's whiskey in the jar. And it's ring never do la. I call the daddy-o. I call the daddy-ho. There's whiskey in the jar. Yeah.
Ow, ow! I know
We've
how
been trying to keep the music alive all summer.
Does anybody know how to sanitize a kazoo?
Kazoo sanitizer.
There's a market there. Yeah, we've been playing outside here in the parking lot on Monday nights. Not Kennedy's Kitchen, just the community of musicians. Just while we can, right? While we can.
We have played in the snow before.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
Are you guys waiting for me to do something else?
I'm waiting to hear what the set list is.
Jay, is anybody home up there?
You're the only one on, John.
I'm on. All right. Well, now let's do St. Patrick's Day. We're going to do Danny Boy. How's that? Yeah. All right. We'll talk a little bit about family and history. My grandmother lived to be 102 years old, and she was about 95 or so when she played Danny Boy for me on a fiddle. I grew up not knowing that my grandmother had played the fiddle as a child. And a lot of things I didn't know. Because, you know, in the emigration over from Ireland, my grandmother came over in 1927 and then raised 9 children through the Great Depression. And so I was raised inside of a very, very Irish home, inside of a very Polish city. So I was the only kid wearing green on St. Patrick's Day at school. Honest to God. My grandmother had a Danny Boy story for me. Now, she was about 12 years old, and she's in the cottage, and she was the only one in the cottage taking care of the babies. And she got her father's fiddle down from over the fire, which you weren't supposed to do. You were supposed to play the student fiddle, not the good one, because he said that if people who didn't know how to play picked up his fiddle, they put bad music into it. And then when he picked it up and bad music came out, he knew that someone had been playing his fiddle. So anyway, she gets the fiddle down off the hearth and she's playing Danny Boy. And then she feels the hair on the back of her head stand up, and she turns around and there's all 6'4" of Joseph Harvey coming through the door, ducking, of course. And he just stands there and looks at her. And then he says, "That was pretty good." which in Donegal was exceedingly high praise. And then he turned it left, which meant that it was okay for her to, she was allowed to play his fiddle. So this is for my grandmother. Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling. Glen to glen and on the mountainside. Summer's gone and all the roses died. 'Tis you, 'tis here, must go and I must bide. But come ye blossoms in the meadow, o'er the valleys hushed and white with snow. It's lively and sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Danny boy, oh, Danny boy, I love you so. When ye come and all the roses die, I am dead, as dead I well may be. You'll come and find the place where I am by. Kneel and say, I'm not there for me. And I shall hear soft you tread above me, and all my grave moment sweeter be, if you will but tell me that you love me. I'll sleep in peace until the day you come to me.
Beautiful.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna bring everyone back for us now.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Thank you so much. Now, I wanted to make sure that everybody's aware. I know Lainey mentioned, Liam, that this is your family, but John's your uncle, right?
Correct. Yep.
So your mother and John are sister and brother,
Yeah,
and
that's right.
that's terrific. And it's great that these. Now, were your parents musical too, Liam?
Yes, my
Oh,
father was. He grew up as a pianist, and then my mother, very, very informally, but in an Irish family, so always singing and things like that.
All right. Was it kind of like a family band growing up, sort of thing, for you?
I mean, that's maybe a little bit. You know, all my siblings and stuff, we always played, and very involved, of course, with Uncle John. So there was always music going on. I will say that.
That must have been a great atmosphere. We're going to give
Yes, very much
Kennedy's Kitchen just a little tiny break because you offered to play a solo for us. So, tell us what you're going to do.
Sure. Yeah. You know, unfortunately, I couldn't make it to South Bend today, but so I'll play a piece. It's called Colonel Fraser's. And back in 2012, I actually competed in Ireland at the World Championships, and this was one of the tunes that I used when I went over there to compete.
I had no idea.
Yes.
Oh, whoops, that's just me. We want here.
Wow.
I'm so
What
Thank you.
what skill and dexterity. Wow. That's all I'm assuming that's all memorized.
Yes, yep. I know very, very little theory, actually. Almost everything is, through the oral tradition. That's very common, actually, with Irish music, where a lot of it's kind of passed down that way.
We're going to call you the Pied Piper from now on. And
That's the
that
first
would be
time I've heard that. Yeah.
that would be a great alarm for your daughter Flora every morning. Have you tried that?
Yeah, not yet, but hopefully she's not awake now in the other room. I'm sure all the neighbors enjoyed that.
Well, that was a treat. Thank you so much.
if I can chime in, Liam, how long have you been playing? Did you already say that?
It's probably about 16 years.
Oh
So
wow.
I started when I was 7 years old. Yeah, and then I started playing with Canada's Kitchen when I was 13. So been doing it for quite a while.
Wow.
That's great. Well, we appreciate that. And hopefully you'll hang on here. We'll bring you back in at least once before the end of the program to say goodbye.
Certainly.
But we're going to bring the band back?
Yes, sir.
All right. I wanted to ask John, wow, Liam just blew us away. Totally. Well, you're so lucky to have him as part of the band. Which,
We all feel that.
thanks for the great training.
All I did was provide him an opportunity to play. I didn't train him. The stuff that you're hearing, I don't even understand what he's doing.
If you don't understand it, then I'm beyond all comprehension. So,
He's a beautiful musician to play with.
but
There's an immense amount of imagination and playfulness in what he's doing. And I realize to many people that all Irish music sounds the same. But like any art form, the deeper you get into it, you start hearing the nuance. And let's say, people who really understand the music well admire what Liam's doing.
I hope he'll keep it up because I can see where he is at in his life and his career. It'd be easy to kind of let it slide, but I hope that he'll continue to hone it and be a part of your group and the Irish musical scene. I hope. Now, before you play another tune, John, do you want to introduce who else is there with you?
Yeah, thank you. This is Joel Cooper. Joel Cooper is a founding member, so Joel goes back all the way to before the beginning, and he drove in from Philadelphia just for this.
Wow.
So, thank you, Joel.
Thank you,
everybody. And we've got another founding member here. This is Christine O'Brien. We call her Miss Bling. We call her lots of other things too, but and she calls us things.
But not
Fiddle,
your
fiddle, mandolin, banjo, background singing. And this is Dr. Nancy Turner on the ballroom. She's playing the drum with us. She's a professor of education, right, at St. Mary's College. And you want to look at the smile on her face now when I tell everybody that she's on sabbatical this week.
Appropriate time.
Good time to be on sabbatical.
Yes.
Good time. Thank you for having us. This is awesome.
Yeah. And of course,
Absolutely.
we're missing Liam terribly, and then Teresa. And with the two of them, they take away basically about 90% of the band's repertoire.
And Jacob has a final.
Yeah, and Nancy's son Jacob plays drum with the band as well, and he is in medical school here in South Bend, but he's got an final exam for one of his block sections tomorrow, so he couldn't be with us either.
Now, John, two things I noted about you when I did my little bit of research for tonight is that you play like 6 instruments. Is that right?
Oh, who told
Or more?
Who told you I play 6 instruments?
Well, I read that somewhere.
I consider myself a singer and a talker,
Okay.
and people who know me will agree with that.
That's two
At
of
least
them.
at least the talking part. Yeah, I play guitar, bouzouki, whistle, flute, mandolin, a couple other things, I suppose. And it's not that big a deal, really. I'm willing to say that I play the guitar reasonably well, and the other instruments I have fun with them, but no one's going to pay to hear me play them.
I think it's
I don't know.
I think it's very impressive. Also, in addition to the fact that you're an economist.
Oh, You had to bring that up.
Well,
Everybody makes mistakes in life.
You're well-rounded. Do you teach? Are you an economics professor?
I got a doctorate in economics at the University of Notre Dame.
Wow.
In economics, what was then called Rice Paddy economics. The basic question is can we arrange life in such a way that everyone on planet Earth is reasonably well off? Still a good question. And I was teaching economics. I taught for 6 years at St. Joseph College in Rensselaer. One of the great honors of my life was to be recognized as a teacher on a faculty that was made up of great teachers. It's a beautiful small school, and it closed just 3 years ago.
Okay, well, that's too bad, but we're just glad that you're keeping up this wonderful tradition with this beautiful festive Irish music. So thank you for that, and we're looking forward to your next piece here.
Yeah, we're looking forward to figuring out what we're doing
Needless to say, we planned, and planning is not one of the greatly successful Irish arts.
Yeah, and because we've got Joel here, we're reaching back 20 years to some of the things that we really enjoy doing with him. This is a Stan Rogers song, right? Old Maui. You often hear this at the Irish festivals. The dance after life full of toil and strife, we whalemen undergo. Won't give a damn, gale is done, hard the wind to blow. 'Cause we're homeward bound from the Arctic around, and good ships oars and free. We won't give a damn, drink our rum with the girls of old Maui. Rolling down to old Maui, me boys, rolling down to old Maui. We're homeward bound from the Arctic around, rolling down to old Maui. Once more we sailed the northerly gale, through the ice, the wind and rain. Them native maids and tropical blades are awaiting our return. Our stunsail bonds is carried away, but care we for that song? A living gale is after us, thank God we're homeward bound. Rolling down to old Maui, boys, rolling down to old Maui. We're homeward bound from the Arctic around, rolling down to old Maui. How soft the breeze through the island trees, now the ice is far astern. Native maids and tropical blades are awaiting our return. Even out their big brown eyes look out, hoping some fine day to see our baggy sail running for the gale, rolling down to old Maui. Rolling down to old Maui, boys, rolling down to old Maui. We're homeward bound from the Arctic around, rolling down to old Maui. Once more we sail with the northerly gale, through the ice, the wind and rain. Them native maids and tropical blades we soon shall see again. 6 hellish months we passed away in the cold Kamchatka Sea. Now we're bound from the Arctic around, rolling down to old Maui. Rolling down to old Maui, me boys, rolling down to old Maui. We're homeward bound from the Arctic around, rolling down to old Maui. Rolling down to old Maui, me boys, rolling down to old Maui. We're homeward bound from the Arctic around, rolling down to old Maui. Oh, it's so great having you back, Joel.
Great to be here.
Yeah, just make the drive in every weekend.
Deal.
Yeah, 14 hours? 10. Yeah, the way you drive.
Thank you.
All right.
Oh, what a beautiful ballad. Thank you for that. Is this, I noticed when I looked at your website, which I want to direct people to if they want to find out more information, it's kennedyskitchen.com, where they can find out more. But it looks like last October, you released your 6th recording called Whiskey of Truth. I don't know if anything if anything we're hearing tonight is from that, but I'm sure they can find many of these tunes on one of your 6 CDs, right?
The next thing we're going to do a song from the Whiskey of Truth. Most of the stuff that's on there, not all, but there's a few. Most of the stuff that's on there, we need Liam. God bless you. You know, we need Liam and Teresa to be able to do much of that music. But we've got a song, maybe 2. We'll kind of see where the evening goes. Chris likes to say that the Irish plan is no plan at all, which is another way of saying, we'll do, if they're going to let us do another one, we'll do.
Oh, yeah.
Is gone to Claire. Yeah.
We've got time for at least 2 or 3 more.
Okay.
So
Love that. I was hoping you would say that.
let's roll right into it.
Okay.
Let's see.
All right, somebody tell a joke, because I need to retune to get into standard tuning. All right. Nancy, you're good with the jokes.
No mic.
No,
Get
Mike.
on mic.
Okay, so 2 Irishmen walk out of a bar. No, Joel, don't.
I'll use my
All right, that's close enough for folk music. All right, Owen O'Neill is a musician from County Clare, originally from Dublin. And he's about, I would say, he's about our age, those of us who are here. And he had a huge impact on me. This would have been one of my trips over to Ireland. I was on a bicycle trip, and I went through County Doolin, and I was fairly new to the traditional side of things, just playing the whistle and the drum a bit. And I went into the music store in Doolin, and I said, you know, what should I buy? Show me the CD I should buy. And the fella said, you want this one here. I said, I'm on a bicycle trip. I can only take one. So it was Owen O'Neill with Mary Custy and with Sharon Shannon and Michael Russell and some others. Just a beautiful man, a beautiful musician, very generous. Let's see. Let's make sure that, here we go. So he left Dublin at a young age and went to County Clare when it was the poorest county in Ireland. Of course, there are several poorest counties in Ireland. Kerry would claim that, and Donegal. But Ireland was one of the poorest countries in Europe, and Clare was one of the poorest counties in Ireland. And you didn't go to Clare if you were a young man at that time. And he went there for the music. People like Junior Crean and Michael Russell were still alive. And Owen O'Neill is still there, still making music. Owen O'Neill's gone to Clare. Owen O'Neill's gone to Clare. Owen O'Neill has gone to Clare. It's a long way from here to there. When I think of Clare, it eases off my pain and levels out my thinking. The town of Kilrush, the town of Kilkee, both towns can be seen from the high rocky slopes around the cliffs of Dooney. Owen O'Neill's gone to Clare. Owen O'Neill O'Neill's gone to Glen. Old O'Neill has gone to Glen. Farewell to Milltown, Malvern. The sun shines bright today. The rocky shores fringe with foam from Spanish one to fray. Listen, 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 Rana, music in the open air. People the world over leave a part of their hearts in Clare. Old O'Neill's gone to Clare. Old O'Neill's gone to Clare. Old O'Neill has gone to Clare. The sun shines like it do on the lovely hills of Clare. We walk and see the Shannon flowing by as the nightingales sing songs for you and I. Knew that I love you, knew with you I would stay. How mellow the light shines down upon this kind of day. Old O'Neill's gone to Clare. Old O'Neill's gone to Clare. Old O'Neill has gone to Clare. All right, Chris. Those nights in 6 Mile Bridge are the songs and music flowed there. Years have passed and gone since those times we had in sweet County Clare. Take me up to Ennistarmon where I want to be. I want to live in Ennistarmon and wake up every day with you next to me. Old O'Neill's gone to Clare. Old O'Neill's gone to Clare. Old O'Neill has gone to Clare. Oh man, I just love singing that song.
We love hearing you sing.
I got to sing that for Owen, and he didn't know it was coming. In a quiet pub where he was surrounded by friends, and I knew that I had to pick the moment because he's the kind of guy who, if you try to put a spotlight on him, he'd get up and leave. And he sat there and he listened to the song, and then he said, "That was the worst 5 minutes of my life."
And then he said, Owen O'Neill has just left Clare.
Yeah.
Well, we're looking forward to some more music, but I wanted to just put some words of thank you out there. One to Kennedy's Kitchen and John and the whole gang and Liam, just for taking time out tonight to do this. I know this is a charitable gesture on your part, And we really appreciate this, especially during this time of COVID when we're trying to bring people some kind of live entertainment, even if it has to be virtual and online. This is a live program, and there's a magic with that. I mean, sometimes the sound isn't ideal, but just the fact that you're live brings us that element of surprise and element of excitement. So,
Well, and as artists,
yes.
we want to thank you for giving us and other artists the opportunity to play, because we're doing what we have to do, and we need people like you to be creating creating an audience, and keeping the budget together so that you've got a venue, so that we get a chance to do this. And if it's in a parking lot and I'm doing it for a free drink, I'm going to be playing.
Hey, it works. There's art behind you, you know. So,
oh, yeah. Hey, Jay, go ahead. Give him a view of the side of Fiddler's Hearth. Folks, when you come to South Bend, and you should, visit Notre Dame, but because you're going to anyway. But this is the real place you want to be. This is where you're going to find a little piece of Ireland and Scotland and all the Celtic nations. And someone that you have never met before is going to buy you a drink. That's when you know you're in a pub. That's when you know you're in a pub.
Oh, it's great. I mean, we're happy to help facilitate this. And Liam, thank you for helping to arrange this and for being a part of this tonight. We look forward to hearing more of you when you can be with the band in the future.
Yes,
And,
definitely.
I did also want to put a thanks out to, and I'm sure you would second this, Liam, Dubuque's very own Irish music festival, the Irish Hoolie. They have helped us promote tonight's live stream with Kennedy's Kitchen. And I wanted to mention that Irish Hoolie's next festival will be next August, on August 28th. Right down near the river by the Star Brewery. So please come and patronize the Irish Hoolie in the future. We would appreciate that. And speaking of festivals, John, I was looking at the list of all the festivals you've played. Kennedy's Kitchen has been to a dozen or more festivals, probably more. But I'm sure you really missed those opportunities this past summer, huh?
Oh, you have. Well, you do have an idea. You're in the arts. I was going to say you have no idea, but you know. You're in the arts. Like this weekend, this would have been the weekend for Michigan Irish Fest.
Okay.
Which for us that's home. It's a family reunion. It's a musical reunion. That would have been this weekend. So being here helps us get just a little bit of that. I've got this is my fall festival outfit. The cold weather, right? So this is my Michigan Irish Fest coat.
Well, it looks great. Now I'm just going to warn folks, we're going to go a little longer than usual tonight. Usually our live streams are 45 minutes, but we're loving the music and the atmosphere here so much. We're going to have the band play another tune. Then we're going to come back with some final announcements. And then John, if you've all got it in you tonight, we'll do another one. So a couple more tunes with announcements in between.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to play a jig. And if Chris feels like going into the second one. All right, so we're going to play a couple of jigs. Merrily Kiss the Quaker and what's the next one? Lark in the Morning?
Sure. I'll do my best.
Yeah, these are, again, kind of reaching way back.
It's a little chilly here tonight.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the instruments love the changing weather. They do. Okay.
Remember what I'm doing.
Wow, after hearing that, St. Patrick's Day can't come soon enough.
Amen to that.
Amen.
Hopefully by this coming St. Patrick's Day, we'll be on the other side of this whole virus and we'll really have big reason to celebrate.
One
Huge reason.
heck of a party.
Yeah.
No, I'm figuring 17 days on either side of March 17. So that'd be 35 days of celebration.
That sounds about right.
Sounds like a great party to me. Well, I've got just a few housekeeping things. Then we're going to end with the last tune. I want to thank Eleni for being our producer tonight. I want to thank Brian for working on the tech behind the scenes. I'd missed the name of the cameraman on the other end in South Bend, but I want to thank that person as well. I also want to mention that our next live stream with Heritage Center will be October 22nd. It will be kind of a special Halloween, spooky kind of edition. It'll be a 7 p.m. instead, just so people know, 7 p.m. instead of 7:30, and it will feature a pianist by the name of Elpin Hong. They call him a pianist for the iPod generation. I have never met someone who's so skilled on the piano, who's also so funny, and is just a very charismatic guy. And he's going to give us kind of a program that's themed for the Halloween season. So we'll look forward to that on October 22nd. I did want to mention, like you see up on your screen here, this is a free program, this monthly program that we're doing. But if you care to make a donation to Heritage Center and support our future efforts, you can go to our webpage at dbq.edu/Heritage Center. And we'd appreciate any kindness that you can contribute there. I think that brings us pretty much to the end of our program, and we appreciate everybody tuning in and hope you enjoyed this little celebration of Irish culture. So now we're going to end with some music. We won't come back with any commentary, just let the music speak for itself. So John Kennedy and Kennedy's Kitchen, take us away.
All right, this would be the traditional ending for St. Patrick's celebration, and often a traditional ending for many, many, many evenings over hundreds of years. All the money that ever I spent I spent it in good company, and all the harm that e'er I've done, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit, to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass, good night and joy be with you. If I had money enough to spend, and leisure time to settle on, there is a fair maid in this town, who sorely has my heart begun. Her rosy cheeks and ruby lips, I own she has my heart enthralled. So fill to me the parting glass, good night and joy be with you. Of all the comrades that e'er I've had, they are sorry for my going away. And all the sweethearts that e'er I had, they'd wish me one more day to stay. But since it falls unto my lot that I should rise and you should not, I'll gently rise and I'll softly call, good night and joy